Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes, and a frankly disturbing and worrying statistic has come to light. Within the NHS alone, over 700,000 days of nursing and midwifery staff have been lost since 2020, so in 4 years, simply because of mental problems. Depression, stress, that sort of thing. 700,000 days, in excess of 700,000 days. And that's just nurses and midwives. Add on all the doctors, junior doctors, consultants, add on the ancillary staff, maintenance and admin, that sort of thing. It's going to be over 1 million days in 4 years. How bad is the NHS in Scotland when it's losing days like that? Through mental health issues, not anything physical. This is an organisation that is in absolute dire need of a major revamp. Certainly a lot more staff. One of the problems, of course, for the mental side is not having anywhere near enough staff. Those staff that are then are worked to the bone while they're actually at work, and then are dragged in on overtime all the time. There's no release. There's no time off, no downtime, no recovery time. And you cannot work people at 100% effort 100% of the time. It's impossible. There will be breakdowns. There needs to be easing. There needs to be 50% increase in staff, minimum. And as for midwives, it needs to double. The Royal College of Midwifery says that there is approximately half the number of midwives that's needed in this country as a whole, let alone it's just in Scotland. But you would need to double at least the number of midwives and at least 50% more nursing staff. That way you're covered without having to use overtime. The staff that are there then get their natural breaks. They get their easing in the day. They can have their breaks in the day where they can take 10, 15 minutes, have a coffee, have a sit down, put the stress out of their mind. It cannot go on. The SNP say, we don't have the money, and yet strangely can piss millions away to foreign countries, can shove Angus on a plane all the way around the world multiple times, first class, and put him up at the best hotels. They can wank money away on foreign embassies that do nothing except provide employment for friends and family of SNP senior people. And yet, not a penny for health. What a strange, wicked party they truly are. A Freedom of Information data that was released this figures showed that 762,975 days were lost across the 14 territorial health boards. Now, like I say, remember this is just nurses and midwives. NHS Lanarkshire had the highest total, at just shy of 25,000 days lost in 1 year. This cannot go on. You have a recruitment problem in the NHS. And you have a retention problem. And where the worst, funnily enough, is midwifery again, has the worst retention. But generally, people who have qualified to be nurses don't want to be a nurse in the NHS. Frequently, a lot of them are either at the top end coming out of the profession early and just going, I've had enough. Or the younger ones are saying, do you know what? If I go to Australia, I can do the same job for double the money. And you know what they're doing? They're doing exactly that. They're going abroad. They're earning more money. And it's less stress. And who can blame them? And until this country, as a whole, not just Scotland, but the country as a whole, decides that actually, let's stop wanking money away, giving billions upon billions of pounds to Ukraine, and instead, let's pump that money in. Let's get enough nurses. Let's get enough midwives. Let's bring the stress down in the NHS. And by doubling the numbers, you're going to halve at least the waiting lists. And let's actually get the NHS working. They say, you can't keep pumping money into it. No, you can't keep pumping managers into it. But you can pump as many doctors and nurses in as you like, and that will make a difference. It's up to the government, but they make their priorities known. At Westminster, it's billions for foreigners, and at Scotland, it's billions on independence. Neither of those things help Britain. None of this soft power bullshit. Britain's powerless. Britain's nothing anymore. Let's stop pretending that we're important. Let's just become a small island off the corner of Europe and keep our own money in our country and make sure our country comes first. And as for Scotland, well, the Scottish people decide time and time again they don't want independence. And it doesn't matter how much money you wank away on it, it ain't never going to happen. And how would anyone who wants independence look around Scotland and go, my God, look at what the SNP have done. They've really fucked this country up. Let's vote for independence so they've got total control to completely destroy it. Yeah, you'd have to be mentally retarded to think like that. Unfortunately, and it seems, and I reckon it's a product of the decreasing education system in Scotland, there are enough mentally retarded people to even keep this alight as an idea. Perhaps, just inform them, just let them know that they are retarded. Show them, and then put them into an adult education centre. Maybe help them along. Some of them may even turn up. They could come out and they could read. Imagine that. Once they could read what the SNP want to do, and then they go, oh, Jesus, no, I thought that all this time. Well, and they realise how dumb they are. But you have to be pretty dumb, don't you? Because if you can't do basic mathematics to see Scotland can't be independent, wow. But if independence comes, who do you think is paying for the NHS? And you think the NHS is bad now? My God. 700,000 days lost? Millions, plural, will be lost. There won't be anyone working in the NHS. Everybody will leave. You won't have an NHS. But unless you stop spending money on independence and start pumping it in and hiring more staff, more nurses, more midwives, more junior doctors, then it's going to crash and burn. The people are already crashing and burning out. It's up to the SNP government. Thankfully, only about 18 months to go. But once they've gone, life hopefully will improve. You cannot keep going the way you are. For some reason, a government that loathes the people enough that it wants them to die. Weird. Still, keep voting for them, don't they? Let me know what you think. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.